The WNBA went from empty stands, players flying in economy, and even people sleeping during the games, to sold-out arenas, private jets, and 200% increase in viewership, all because of one player, Caitlin Clark. Although a certain someone would beg to disagree.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Despite her incredible achievements, record-breaking performances, and undeniable impact on the league, Caitlin Clark has her fair share of critics. Some people, including fellow players and even retired legends, still find reasons to downplay her success. Whether it's her confidence being labeled as cockiness, or her aggressive playing style drawing criticism, Clark isn't immune to the hate. In fact, some argue that she's been too dominant, overshadowing other players and putting a target on her back. But let's be real, when you're changing the game the way she has, not everyone's going to love you. Ever since she got drafted as the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark seems to break a record with every game she plays. Let's take a look at some of the records she's shattered in such a short time. Caitlin set the franchise record for the most three-pointers and the most double-doubles in a single season. She also set a new WNBA rookie record for the most single-season points, three-pointers, and assists, as well as the WNBA single-game assist record with 19. Her biggest record to date, however, is breaking the WNBA's all-time single-season assist record. At the time of making this video, Clark stands tied with Sabrina Ionescu for the most career games with at least 25 points and 10 assists. Mind you, Caitlin did this in 5 months, while Sabrina has been in the league for 5 years. Caitlin Clark's 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 8.5 assists per game have helped the Indiana Fever go from being one of the 3 worst teams in the league last season to making the playoffs in 2024. On the court, Clark is a game changer. Her range is practically limitless, consistently hitting deep three-pointers that stretch defenses to their breaking point. Opponents have to guard her as soon as she crosses half court, which opens up the floor for her teammates and creates mismatches all over the court. And it's not just her scoring, her playmaking ability is elite. She just has a feel for delivering passes through tight defensive gaps, making her one of the most dangerous offensive players in the league. What truly sets Clark apart, though, is her confidence. She's not afraid to take the big shots or make bold passes. And once her teammates start catching the passes on a regular basis, there's no doubt in my mind Caitlin will be in the MVP conversation every single year. The pay gap between the WNBA and the NBA has always been a topic of debate, but the reality is rooted in financial disparity. The WNBA has never turned a profit, consistently spending more than it earns each year. For example, the highest-paid WNBA player earns around $250,000 annually, while an average NBA rookie brings in $3 to $4 million. Naturally, salaries should reflect the revenue each league generates. In 2019, the WNBA brought in $60 million, while the NBA raked in over $7 billion. The WNBA was operating at such a significant loss that the NBA had to step in, providing $50 million annually to keep the league afloat. Due to the lack of interest, the WNBA became somewhat of a laughingstock, with empty arenas and dismal viewership. Then Caitlin Clark arrived. Before even stepping foot in the WNBA, she made history when her NCAA tournament championship game became the first women's championship to draw more viewers than the men's. Once she joined the Indiana Fever, everything changed. Attendance for Fever games more than doubled, TV viewership surged, and the team's merchandise sales skyrocketed by over 1,000%. Clark's fan base quickly began filling arenas across the league, drawing NBA players and celebrities to courtside seats. Clark's influence has revitalized the entire WNBA, making it more popular and profitable than ever before. Yet, the players in the league don't celebrate her nearly as much as the fans. In fact, her competition and even former WNBA players often seem jealous and frustrated by Caitlin's dominance on the court. Before Caitlin Clark even entered the WNBA, legends like Diana Taurasi attempted to intimidate her, warning her that she'd no longer be facing 18-year-olds.
reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
However, this backfired when Clark dropped 29 points and 10 assists in a dominant win over Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury. Other players, such as Kennedy Carter and Skylar Diggins-Smith, tried rattling her with cheap shots and shoulder bumps during timeouts. Former three-time WNBA MVP Sheryl Swoopes went as far as to say on a podcast that she'd give the Rookie of the Year award to Angel Reese instead of Clark, which is laughable considering Clark outperforms Reese in nearly every statistical category except rebounds, most of which come from Reese's missed layups. Swoopes continued her criticism, making baseless claims, but what's truly ironic is that Clark's rookie stats are far superior to Swoopes' MVP numbers from 2002. The hate for Clark didn't stop there. USA Basketball left her off the Olympic team, but rather than being phased, Clark returned to the WNBA even stronger. Reese has also been thrown into the conversation, with some players like Aja Wilson suggesting Clark benefits from white privilege, claiming they aren't as marketable because of their race, ignoring the fact that superstars like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Kevin Durant exist. The backlash against Clark grew to such an extent that even LeBron took to Twitter to support her, and NBA legend Charles Barkley defended her on his show.
Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA.
When asked about the criticism, Caitlin handles the questions gracefully and doesn't let them affect her, showing she's mature and fully prepared for the pressure that comes with her success. Her ability to brush off criticism has been especially important in navigating one of the biggest storylines of her rookie season, her heated rivalry with Angel Reese. From their college days to the WNBA, the competition between Clark and Reese has only grown bigger, with many fans and analysts debating who deserves the Rookie of the Year award. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are undeniably the two biggest names in women's basketball right now, and the media has been quick to fuel their rivalry. The tension between them dates back to their college days, when they faced off in the 2023 NCAA Finals. It was their only meeting of the season, and it just happened to be on the biggest stage in women's college basketball. The game drew nearly 10 million viewers, making it the most watched women's college basketball game of all time. LSU had a stronger overall team, with 3 players scoring over 20 points, while Iowa relied heavily on Caitlin's performance. Despite Clark's impressive 30-point game, along with 8 3-pointers, it wasn't enough to overcome LSU's stacked roster. As the game neared its end, Angel Reese added fuel to the fire by taunting Clark, following her around the court in what many saw as unsportsmanlike conduct. The moment sparked widespread backlash against Reese, but when asked about the situation, Clark surprised everyone by defending her.
Honestly, I have no idea. I was just trying to get to the handshake line and shake hands and, be grateful that my team was in that position.
Fast forward a year later, and Clark got her revenge. In a rematch of the last year's finals, she destroyed Angel Reese and LSU, scoring 41 points, dishing out 12 assists and making 9 3-pointers. LSU had no answer for her, and it was clear that Clark had delivered the payback fans had been waiting for. The tension between Reese and Clark carried into the WNBA, where their rivalry continued. In one heated matchup, Clark drove to the basket for a layup, only for Reese to smack her in the head, then walk away without even checking on her after the hard foul. Reese brushed it off as a regular defensive play, though it didn't seem that way to many.
It's a basketball play. I can't control the refs. They affected the game obviously a lot tonight. Going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle, but...
On another occasion, Angel was seen celebrating after her teammate Kennedy Carter cheap-shotted Caitlin to the ground for no apparent reason. Throughout the WNBA season, the media has hyped up their rivalry and the Rookie of the Year race between them. But when you dive into the numbers, the competition isn't close. Clark's dominance in almost every statistical category makes the Rookie of the Year race a foregone conclusion. As Caitlin Clark wraps up her rookie season, there's no denying the impact she's had on the WNBA. Few players, let alone rookies, have ever had such an immediate impact and transformative effect on their league. Clark's dominance has truly revitalized a sport that many thought was in decline. Despite facing intense criticism from players, coaches, and even former WNBA legends, Clark continues to thrive under pressure, strengthening her position as the future face of the league. As the WNBA continues to grow, much of that success will be credited to Caitlin, and the scariest thing is that she is just getting started.